So last year I made a video about how I send money home using SBI Remit. In that video, I mentioned that I was filing for tax return for my dependent overseas. So I figured I'd just make another video in details telling you how to do that and giving you recommendations of documents you would need to bring and what kind of hints you need to file for it without knowing any Japanese. So communication without Japanese. So difficult here. But anyways, so first of all, the documents you'll need, or should I back up and say what filing for tax for dependent is? Okay, so in Japan, you can file for your dependent overseas. And as most Jamaicans, we send money home via money transfer. Now, I use SBI Remit, which is a great service. I love them. I can't stop telling you how much I love them. So I use them to send money home to my mother, and then she will put that money in my bank account because it just costs less than sending directly. And it's faster because I think when I try and send money home from my bank here to my Jamaican bank account, it takes like 7 days and it's a long process and it costs more because there are bank charges from here and also bank charges when it gets to my account in Jamaica. So I'm not about that life. So I send money home via money transfer, and SBI is a great service to do that with. So anyways, so when you do that, you can file for tax return using the dependent you send money home to. So try and pick one person that you send home to all the time, and then at the end of the financial year, which is in March, you can file for tax return. Now, documents you'll need. My company files our taxes every year and then gives us a copy of that proof of filing, and we get that in December. So you need a copy of that. I don't know if everyone's company does that, but my company is a good company and my company does that. So big up to my company, which I'm not going to mention. So you need a copy of that. You also need a copy of your birth certificate and a copy of your dependent's birth certificate to show a relationship between the two, because I don't think you can file for tax return on a dependent who is not related to you. I don't think you can do that. So I needed a copy. And then the tricky part with that is I had to translate my birth certificate. So when I was at the tax office, I had to show them mother, my birth date, and then they highlighted and wrote that in Japanese. So make a copy. Don't give them your original birth certificate, which you're supposed to have on you in Japan anyways. Let's see what else. So yes, you need proof of relationship to your dependent through birth certificate. If your dependent is your husband, you can show them your marriage certificate and translate that for them. So a copy of your marriage certificate showing that it's my husband. Let's see what else. You also need your bank account number because they will transfer the money directly to your bank account. You need your My Number card. My Number is a number everyone gets in Japan, whether you're a national or not, or just a resident. Everyone gets a My Number. You need that. You need your residence card. And one more thing. Oh, yeah. You definitely need a receipt showing all the money transfers you've done for the year. Now, again, I praise SBI because they will provide you with that receipt, which is just a copy of the paper with all the transactions you've made for the year. SBI at the beginning of the year in January, I called them and I asked them for a copy, and they obliged, and I got it within a week, which is so convenient. And it just shows every single transaction I've made, and it has the name of the person. So with SBI Remit, you get a card, and the card has the person's name on it. So for every transfer, it shows the name of the person you have transferred to. So it has my mother's name, and then when I go to file taxes with my birth certificate, I can prove that this person is my mother. She gave birth to me. This is a proof, my birth certificate from Jamaica. Please give me all my money. Give me all my money. Give me my money now. Yeah, basically, that's how it works. So when you get to the tax office, if you don't know Japanese like me, I've been here for 2 years, almost. I still don't know Japanese. I know, I'm pathetic. I know. If you don't know Japanese like me, just bring your smartphone and use Google Translate. When I went there, I went to the front desk and I Google translated dependent deduction, and they put me in the line. My tax office has this really efficient system where they look over the documents and then they send you to someone who will help you to print it. So I don't know if all tax offices will have that, but hopefully yours does too. They don't know any English, but we somehow managed to communicate with Google Translate. So that was great. And hopefully they're as efficient as mine. So you just need to have the documents. I didn't have to write up anything. I didn't have to write anything. All I had to do was sign my hanko or sign my name when I finished filing all of the taxes. So they did most of the job. Hopefully your tax office is as easy as mine. And to find your tax office, I just Googled mine last year. I just like, minute tax office. Boom. And it just happens to be 5 minutes away from where I live. Placement. I love my placement so much. So that was very convenient. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So if you want to get a little money back, it really is a little. It's a little. Because last year I sent more money home this year than I did last year. And I thought I was going to get this big tax return. But no, it doesn't really change from year to year. It's kind of like the same number. And I think it's dependent on your salary. So I'm an idiot and didn't realize that. But the money will come in handy. The money will come in handy. So if you want a little money back on your income tax, a little money back, then you should definitely go ahead and file for tax return for your dependent overseas. But remember, you can't do it unless you can show proof of dependent relationship to you. And if you can show a certified copy of all the transactions you've made, money transactions you've made to the person that you are filing for. But yeah, so I hope this helps anyone who's interested in filing for a tax return for a dependent overseas. I know many Jamaicans will be interested because that's all we ever do when we are part of the diaspora. That's all we ever do. Send money home. That's like the basis of the Jamaican economy, which is quite fine because, it means that we're good people. So anyways, I hope that helps. Bye.